What's up, folks? I'm bored. I got nothing better to do, so I figured I'd just make videos all day. Anyway, there's been a thing going around like the last week or so saying that we should forgive and forget the things that happened during COVID. And I can't do that because the things that happened during COVID were pretty screwed up. First thing that happened to me, and this is just my own personal experiences. I don't want to talk about everybody else's experiences. The first thing that happened to me was on January 30th of 2020. My truck broke down and had the engine rebuilt. It was under warranty at the time, so they paid for it. But because of COVID, my truck was not out of the shop until May. So I sat at home for 4 months. I had no opportunity to work. The company wasn't, offering to let me get a. They weren't offering to let me get a lease truck or anything like that. And I was sitting at home. I tried to get unemployment, got denied. Didn't get any stimulus. Didn't get nothing. I had no money, and I'm frustrated, very frustrated. That repair job would not have taken so long had it not been for COVID, because shop shut down. They went to a skeleton crew, blah blah blah. All the things that people did during COVID, and so that repair wouldn't have taken so long had it not been for COVID. Once I got back on the road, multiple times I was forced to wear a mask, and I know people, oh, boo-hoo, you wear a mask. Wearing a mask for me is, I wear a modular motorcycle helmet most of the time, just simply because I literally cannot freaking breathe in a helmet, full face helmet most of the time. I've gotten used to it somewhat, but it's still like as soon as I'm at a red light, my visor comes up so I can get air in, and it's just I cannot breathe hot air. And if every time I put a mask on, I'm sitting there clawing my face trying to get it off because it's driving me crazy. I don't know, maybe I'm a little claustrophobic, I don't know, but it is very, very difficult for me to wear a mask. So I'd avoid it, and most of the time I didn't have to wear a mask. But, a couple of times going to deliver a place, because I'd never pick up a load if they forced me to wear a mask. If they forced me to wear a mask, I'd tell them fuck off and I'd leave. And, but on the other end, on the back end, trying to deliver, they're forcing it. There was a place in Illinois I went to one time. This woman was wearing a ripped up t-shirt on her face, telling me I gotta wear a mask. And I'm like, I'm not even coming inside your place. What the fuck do you care? Couldn't deliver the load until I put the damn mask on. And it's just like, I don't like being held hostage that way. A lot of people are like, well, you don't have to do it if you don't blah, blah, blah. But yeah, you do. Unfortunately, you do. There was another instance where I had to go take a random drug screen. Well, you go down to the clinic. Guess what? They're going to tell you to put a mask on. If you don't wear that mask, you can't get that drug screen. If you don't take that drug screen, it's counted as an automatic positive or whatever. A forfeiture goes against you just like a positive. So, or refusal goes, same as a positive. So I had no choice. Had to wear the mask. I mean, otherwise I'll lose my career, lose my license, over a freaking mask. So many other people that I know had family that passed away, couldn't see their family before they passed away and whatnot. The funerals got postponed, or they had to do some kind of just memorial service or whatever. There's a lot of negative things that happen. And then people that I know had to quit their jobs that they'd had good jobs, because they wouldn't take the vaccine. All this stuff, and then they come out to, now saying what I knew then, because I'd say by April, everything got hot and heavy about March and with the lockdowns and all that. But by April, I was saying at the time, like the reality does not match the hype. When we're talking about COVID, the reality does not match the hype here. If we had the numbers of people that were dying from COVID versus what they said were dying from COVID, we would see sick people in public falling out and whatnot. There would be mass graves. What about all the homeless people? Would you not see dead homeless people on the streets if it was as bad as they were claiming? I mean, they were basically claiming that it was a plague, like the bubonic plague, almost. I mean, it was that serious is the rhetoric that was coming out. And they're pushing. First of all, they're saying don't use masks, but then they're pushing masks, and it's like, and then 1, 2, and 3 masks and all that, and it's like, there's no, everybody who has any kind of brains would understood that the mask didn't do nothing. They didn't do anything. They didn't help. And then the vaccine came along, and then it's like, you must get the vaccine. I'm like, what are you worried about if I get the fucking vaccine for? If I get sick and I die, then what do you care? But no, it's because you're not going to be able to spread the disease if you have the vaccine, which was a lie. They knew it was a lie. It's all been lies over and over and over. Now nobody trusts. Nobody trusts the government. Nobody trusts anybody anymore. Everybody's cried wolf so much. I was having a conversation with my friend the other day, and he's like talking about how so many conservatives are like cheerleading for Putin and whatnot, because I'm like, well, maybe it's because during the 2016 elections, during the 2020 elections, all Russian disinformation, Russian bots, Russian. How many times did you hear that? And most people who are not left leaning are like, well, you heard Russia so damn much now that we just don't believe it. Fuck it. We're not, who cares about the Russians? The Russians don't matter. And so they've cried wolf so much on a lot of stuff that people just don't believe anything anymore. And now they're asking for people to, let's just forget about all the tyranny and the authoritarianism and all that during the COVID time, because we were just moving at the speed of science. Follow the science is fine, but you have to be responsible and intelligent also. There was a time when people thought that leeches would cure diseases. There was a time when people thought that the universe revolved around the earth. There was a time where doctors were prescribing thalidomide to pregnant women. There have been serious screw-ups in science, and not way far back in the old days, that we can't remember, but very recently too. And the whole COVID response was a serious misstep in the science. And these people, trust the science. Well, I can trust my own eyes and my own powers of observation. And I was taught at least a scientific method. I don't remember where I was taught it, because it certainly wasn't at school. But I was, I have some sort of idea of what the scientific method is and whatnot. And my own observations do not coincide with what we were being told, and that's most people, I think, would understand that now. Some people jumped off the bandwagon a little sooner than others. I'm probably way sooner than others, but we were lied to, and now it's coming out that we were lied to, and we're supposed to just oh well, whatever, it's no big deal. But a lot of people's lives were disrupted in a very bad way during that period, and we shouldn't accept that. We shouldn't just let them get away with it. Do not forget what they did, and make sure you understand that when you vote for people, when you support people, you think about that. Think about the people telling you what to do. Like, we have a constitution in this country for a reason. And most of the time, people want to make things illegal if they don't like it or they don't understand it. People want to rule other people's lives if they don't understand what they're doing or they don't enjoy what they're doing. People want to make things that you do wrong or stop you from doing them if they themselves don't appreciate it or don't have any understanding of it. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to do what you want to do, as long as you're not bothering anybody else. I guess you could call me a libertarian, but that's what my philosophy is. Basically the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If I want to be left alone, then I should leave other people alone. If I want to be free, then I should make sure that other people are free to do the things that they do, whether I like it or not. And we don't need people in this country, in politics, there are supposed leaders telling us what to do and how to do and when to do and all that. And people who support that really need a wake-up call. You need to understand that your your point of view might be right today, or it might be the popular point of view today, but it can flip in a dime, and all of a sudden you're on the receiving end of that. Just look at the way things have changed since the 80s. In the 80s, the religious right they were calling the shots. Now, it's absolutely the other way around. But that doesn't necessarily mean it won't stay that way. That's going to stay that way forever. So think about that when you're trying to tell other people how to do things. I had an argument with my mother a long time ago. She was upset because I wanted to build a mosque somewhere. I'm like, you can't stop them. You shouldn't support stopping them from building the mosque, because what the hell are you going to do when somebody comes, you set the precedent and somebody comes along and says you can't build a church. You can't build a Christian church. And she understood that, that got through to her. But it is very important that we allow other people to live free. And, that way we ourselves can live free. And you don't support politicians who oppose that shit. And that means that's across the board on everything. So anyway, that's my 25 cents worth of inflation. And, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.